Knowing that it's June 9th as I'm recording this, and because I live in the South, I would like to let everyone know, because apparently there are some people out there who don't know this, it's hurricane season, where we, as people in the South, have to worry about maybe a potential light drizzle, maybe some heavy rain, maybe something to the effect of Hurricane Helene, or on the rarest of occasions, maybe some people have to deal with Hurricane Katrina. And I would just like to make this public statement now, because I feel like something is going to occur, maybe in July, maybe in August, in terms of stupid people who think they know everything. If you're going to be someone who sees livelihoods changed for the worse, homes devastated, businesses no longer in business, all due to hurricanes that are verifiably going to come in, whether they come in big or small at category 1 or category 5, and you get on social media to say something to the effect of, this is what happens when you people side with mass deportations, I just want you to know early, fuck you. It's not the time to look at people's tragedies and say, this is what happens when you don't do what I want you to do. Curb that enthusiasm, because you're too stupid to understand something that goes on every single year affects people's lives, and you just want to have a think piece for the fuck of it. Wonder why I put that in the beginning of the video? Do you think it may be because, oh, I'm trying to be cute and coy, or is it because somebody did the stupid that I predicted they would do 3 weeks ago? If you guessed the second option, congratulations, you get a virtual cookie. As some of you may or may not be aware, especially if you live in Texas, there was a recent hurricane which has left a lot of people devastated, families changed, livelihoods changed, homes taken off the foundation, and most importantly, missing or dead people, especially children. Put a pin in that, because we gonna deal with that. And of course, when tragedy like this strikes every single year, the immediate conversation from people who don't live in these areas, or people who like to complain about anything without substantial change, is to say, hey, this is all because of current administration.
Well, today is the 4th of July, and I'm not here for that. What I am here for is for Texas. You're up next. It's your turn. It's your turn to see how y'all gonna do. Because if past indication is anything to go on, y'all didn't do so well when your grid froze and you had everything coated in ice and you were on your own down there. I bring all that up to say that flooding you're getting now, that heavy flooding that you're swimming where you used to walk, it's happening. And guess what ain't happening? FEMA. Ain't gonna be no FEMA funds, because there is no FEMA. According to y'all's new big bill that you're celebrating, FEMA funds were diverted to ICE. So guess what, motherfuckers? Y'all better get to swimming. The more you know. Carry on. First of all, let's cut the semantics, ma'am. Clearly, unless your head is in your behind and you have no humor, and your taste is only in your mouth, because outside of that, you would have to know I was speaking to a specific segment of the demographic.
Not that any of you needed this drastic FYI, but a hurricane doesn't pick who to hit based on who was voted for. It kind of goes all around. It has a set course on occasion, you know? So it doesn't really matter who or where you voted. If that hurricane is in trajectory to hit you, it's gonna hit you.
Not everybody. So I don't know why you want to be extra sensitive and make this something it was not.
Because people have missing family members and dead children, and you're sitting here cackling about how they're dead and how they gotta swim where they used to walk. It is a song and dance that has been done to death, and I'm sorry to burst the bubble of several people who think that they have the keys to the kingdom that is knowledge. But even when we have a strong foundational trust in terms of finances and strategic plans with FEMA, you're still going to deal with this same song and dance of livelihoods changed, homes devastated, an entire set of circumstances completely altered, all due to a hurricane, whether they be in the category 3s, 4s, or 5s, or sporadics. Yes, It is embarrassing that a bunch of people did not know about this.
What if the tragedy at Camp Mystic wasn't just a natural disaster, but the result of this administration gutting the National Weather Service? On July 4th, a flash flood ripped through Camp Mystic in Texas, 24 dead, over 20 still missing, most of them children, and one has to ask, how could officials let something like this happen? The National Weather Service predicted 3 to 6 inches of rain, but 10 inches fell, causing the Guadalupe River to rise 26 feet in 45 minutes. How did the National Weather Service get it so wrong? Well, it may be due to the fact that this year the Trump administration cut hundreds of jobs from the National Weather Service and NOAA. Meteorologists, radar techs, satellite analysts, gone. Entire forecast offices are running with skeleton crews. Some literally can't operate at night anymore. These are the people who warn us about flash floods, who track the data, launch the balloons, fix the radar, and they've been gutted. Now ask yourself, if more experts had been on staff, if river gauges had been monitored in real time, if somebody caught how fast the Guadalupe was rising, could lives have been saved? Now, I'm not saying that the flood wouldn't have happened, but what I am saying is that there is a real possibility it hit harder because the people who were supposed to warn us weren't there. Former National Weather Service directors warned that this exact thing might happen. They called it their worst nightmare. Understaffed offices, delayed alerts, and people dying who didn't have to.
Who run for federal office, that whenever disasters like this happen, they take it upon themselves to first list all the names of people that they want to thank. Not what we want to hear right now. What we want is actual information. That is what the people of Kerrville and all over the Hill Country are waiting for right now. That was a lot longer than it needed to be. If they don't have the latest information that they can give us, they should have said so. My point is that they spent way too long thanking each other, and this is something that is bipartisan. We see it whenever there's a disaster. Doesn't matter which president is in office. For some reason, federal leaders tend to thank each other for a long time before they tell us what we actually need.
Even in those same breaths, you have to go through history to find out that people have been aware of hurricanes, still choose their route and course of action, and you still end up with the same result. Maybe it would have been less people dead, and you know what? That's a fair thing to bring up. But when we're sitting here playing this game as if it's the first time we've ever heard of a hurricane or the first time we've ever seen something like this, I need to remind y'all, history is the ultimate indicator of how much people actually pay attention to change. And when it comes to hurricanes and hurricane season, a lot of people seemingly want to act as if this hurricane is the first one they've ever heard about. And I'm a little bit annoyed at that. And honestly, I don't know the course of action, because when people were bitching last year as if it was the first time they ever heard of a hurricane about $750, and they left all types of context out of that, and you had the man who's currently in office co-signing these great ideas about changing FEMA, I was one of the people that said, I don't really know how quick you could turn this around, because it's not like hurricanes are gonna stop next year. They were going to come. I said this a year ago, and I was right. A hurricane is gonna come, and of course, people are going to look towards FEMA and see all these drastic changes that are being brought up and how quick they were going to have to meet those changes. And ultimately, it seems like that was really a dumb idea, which is not a feather in the cap for people who want to sit there and complain about $750, because you went from bitching about that to now you got people bitching about no communication about a hurricane, which then leads to all this random talking about how people need to do better with this, that, and the third, when we need to focus on trying to find these missing people, which brings me to pulling that pin out, because for some reason, history tends to let us know that the stupidest of people will somehow always make missing people in the midst of a hurricane always about something that has nothing to do with it. And I'm already pissed off from what I had to watch before turning this camera on, so now I'm gonna let you watch it so you could be a little bit aggravated as well.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going, period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would give a fuck. And all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada, yada, yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East goddamn Texas and to make a all-white enclave, exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic people in East Texas. Somehow, some way, you have carved out an all-white, whites-only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again, y'all have to understand the climate that we're living in. They want you to have sympathy for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these people and to donate your money to go find these people. Meanwhile, they are deporting your family members. Meanwhile, they're setting up concentration camps and prisons for your family members. And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls. To the white commenter who posted this on my page as proof to show that this is actually not an all-white camp, but actually an inclusive, exclusive camp for everyone, this is the reason why I tell my black son to choose his white friends wisely, because whether you're present for it or whether you know it or not, they will use you as the black friend reason to excuse their racism. You will be the black friend in obscurity somewhere excusing all of their racist nonsense. They will say things like, well, I said the N-word in front of my black friend, and pull out your picture to justify them saying the N-word or to justify whatever racist nonsense that they're trying to justify. And here you are, black person, cheesing in the background, letting them justify their nonsense. Please pick and choose your white friends wisely and tell your children to do the same. Because right after they do some racist ass shit, they're going to pull out your picture to justify their bullshit.
To me, it's a little confusing how someone could say no shade to a bunch of kids after smearing them and their family for about 4 minutes and throwing in random black person into the mix, because I guess somebody commented something that had her so mad that she had to activate that, oh, but see, you got to choose your white friends wisely, because you might find the right type of white person, but you also might find somebody that could be using you to excuse their racism, even though none of these children have been discovered as racist. They're children, and worse than that, they're missing children. In the midst of finding out that your family members may be dead or are missing because of a hurricane, the last thing you want to hear is some bitch sitting there talking about how the only reason people care is because your kids are white. I'm sorry, but as somebody who's been born and raised in the South since 1999, every time I hear about a hurricane in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, South, North Carolina, Florida, don't matter. It will always leave a pit in my stomach, because no matter the age, no matter the sexuality, no matter the race, no matter the political affiliation, people are missing. It's leaving family members stressed out because they're hoping that they can find their family member alive, just stuck somewhere, not being able to contact nobody. But there's also that fear that they could be dead, and making it about how much you have a lack of care because of skin color, or how much you think everybody doesn't care about Mexicans or black people is your burden to bear. And the fact that you were so fucking bold to sit there and say, oh, I'm not afraid of getting canceled, but your bitch ass getting ragged through and people are criticizing you, and you deleted that fucking video because I can't find it on your fucking page no more, lets me know that you are afraid of a bunch of people on your fucking ass.
Oh, because Sadie Perkins, where'd you go, girl? Where'd you go? Why'd you make your profile private? I thought you said you didn't care about getting canceled. because you said the most diabolical thing you could say about children dying in the flood and doubled down in the comments. And then what private is so crazy to me. And the most funniest part and the most ironic part that took the cake is that you married a white man. You're a grown-ass adult, Sadie Perkins, talking about children's death. Disgusting.
This video is for Sade Perkins and Sade Perkins only. If you're not Sade Perkins, keep strolling. First off, I want to start off by saying the video that you made was very tasteless and very disgusting. When it comes to kids, we don't care if they black, purple, white, orange, pink, purple, green. We don't care. It's a child.
About their double standards and how you wouldn't give a damn about other children and how there's children in ICE detention right now who y'all don't give two fucks about. There's no prayers going up for them, but we're supposed to stop the world and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls. Again, I actually have empathy, so I can put myself in other people's shoes.
And look, this is the funniest part, and I'm not gonna show it because you got your kids all plastered around, so that's not my fucking thing to bring up. But you talking all this hot shit about people caring because of white this and white that, and they don't care if it's a Mexican this or a black that. You married to a white man. So what the fuck point are you trying to make being the pagan saint who's getting digged down by the supremacy that you want to beat so fucking much? It makes no fucking sense. My issue with so many people every fucking time is how much the lack of care is there. These are children, and you sitting there talking about their parents as if they're the ones who pissed you off so much. These are kids, and it ain't just kids that's missing, but the fact that you propping up all these images of kids and you making it seem like, oh well, fuck, yeah, because your parents might be racist, even though I don't know any of y'all. I'm sort of having that little bit of sympathy, but I'm not having it in full detail. Fuck you, and fuck everything you stand for, and fuck the people that's probably supporting your dumb ass, because you motherfuckers will be the first ones to antagonize another person, but then get on your knees begging somebody to give a fuck about you. And that's the saddest part under the sun for me, is because y'all doing this around missing kids. Yes, they got missing adults too, but you did this with fucking kids. Where's your sense of shame? Where's your sense of pride? Because if it was your kids, you would be sitting there begging everybody to be on the lookout. You would be sitting there scared. You'd be sitting there wondering if your kids was fucking dead. But the fact that you sat up there with all the confidence and the bravado, and then your bravado went away, and now you're sitting there complaining about some bearded black dude making fun of you, talking about you, you fucking pathetic. And you a hypocrite. And you speak to this larger issue that I have with people who, I'm just guessing, because I don't know where any of y'all live. It seemed like every time the loudest people, when it comes to hurricanes, the loudest people saying all the bombastic shit don't even live in the South. They don't even live anywhere near where they would be affected by this. But as a Katrina baby, I can tell you for shit sure, it is egregiously stupid for y'all to be talking like you know everything when you clearly know nothing. Again, the whole thing with FEMA, I could kind of understand, because we've been put in a very hilariously bad position to where we gotta hope at some point this all gets figured out, because FEMA sucked before any of these motherfuckers became in office, and now it seems like it's gotten worse over time. But time will be the ultimate indicator to tell if this motherfucker got a great idea on how to make this better or not, because right now, with it being something that comes through every year, trying to make bombastic changes in less than a year would be something that was going to be a task that everybody should have seen coming, that was going to be difficult. And anyone who sat there and said, oh, I'm going to cheer this on, you are someone who has a little bit too much faith in the government and the processes that they go to, knowing full well it's going to take them decades to make any significant change worth a damn. And for you motherfuckers that like seeing dead bodies or like looking at people suffering, dealing with their missing families, and you want to make it all about some racial issue that you have deep inside, fuck you. I hope they find as many of these people as they can, whether if they are dead or alive. If they're alive, blessed. But if they're deceased, hopefully these families can find them and they could bury them and they could celebrate the life that they had, even though they wished it could be longer. At least they were able to find a body and bury it. Because can you imagine finding out that your child, your brother, your mama, your dad washed away via a hurricane and nobody could find the body? Of course you couldn't imagine that, because that's scary to think about. Now imagine fucking living that shit the next time you get on social media trying to say, nobody gives a fuck if these kids are black. Because I promise you this, the bubble you live in of insecure racial issues does not matter. Fix your life for the fucking better, because you and anybody who's agreed with you over these past couple of hours are fucking pathetic. And for everybody else, I'll see y'all in the next one. Hopefully everybody stays safe and stays dry. If you can maneuver throughout some hurricanes that's gonna come for these next 2 months, I hope you do. If you have to stay in your home and barricade the walls as best you can, I hope you stay safe. If you evacuate to another state, I hope you stay safe. If you ain't got enough to find a hotel in another state and all you got is your car, I still hope you stay safe. I don't give a fuck about y'all differences of opinion. I don't give a fuck that you may not like me. I don't give a fuck that you love me. I want you motherfuckers to stay safe if you got to deal with these hurricanes, because it's not a fucking joke. It's not a fucking game. And I'm sick of people playing as if it is a game just because they sitting somewhere where the sun is always shining and they ain't never got to deal with this shit. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.